I'm Reverend Katey Zay, Interim CEO of the Religious Coalition for Reproductive Choice.
And I'm Reverend Dr. Cari Jackson, Director of Spiritual Care and Activism.
We know that this Mother's Day feels very different from ones we've experienced in the past, and we knew that we wanted to offer something that would be fitting for this moment. And so Cari and I were speaking a few weeks ago about what it would look like to write a litany for mothers in this moment. And so Cari felt inspired to write this poem called God's Song in a Strange Land. I was pleased to help co-create that with her, and we would like to read it to you today and hope that it brings you solace and comfort during these troubling times.
How do we honor mothers in this pandemic? When mothers are dying without their loved ones near, others are grieving dying children they cannot touch. How do we sing God's song in this strange land?
How can we honor mothers when mothers said to be essential do not earn living wages? When stay-at-home mom has new and overwhelming meaning, and mothers can only hug or be hugged virtually, if at all?
How do we honor mothers whose laps and wombs are empty, when no one sees their wounded hearts that bear the scabs and scars of broken dreams?
How do we honor mothers when mothers give birth with virus as their only companion, when many have lost jobs and means to care for their families? This is a strange land.
How can we honor mothers when brown babies are ripped away from loving arms to live in dirty, crowded cages where they cry for their mamas? Give me you're tired, you're poor does not apply.
How can we honor mothers when Mother Earth is groaning, overtaken by toxic waste, as humans do not understand the connection of all living? How do we sing God's song?
How do we honor mothers when their children are behind bars or imprisoned by addiction, when relationships with their children seem shattered beyond repair, and they cannot find their way to forgiveness?
How do we honor mothers when heartless politicians add abortion bans and immigration restrictions, when the human dignity of Black folks, long-term care residents, meatpacking workers, and people living in incarceration is disregarded by our own government?
How can we sing to honor mothers? Mama ancestors learned how. Listen now to their songs. Our mama warriors and healers, activists and preachers who sang God's song in this strange land.
Mothers of Union and Confederate soldiers who cried out, "No more! Do we want to raise our children only to send them to war?" Theirs were cries of reproductive justice. They sang God's song in this strange land.
Mama Julia organized Mothers' Peace Movement. When mothers from nations around the world, in different languages, they cried out, "Peace, not war is the answer." They sang God's song in this strange land.
Mama Anna campaigned for a national Mother's Day, not with empty, sentimental, or commercial words, but honoring life-giving, social healing motherhood. They sang God's song in this strange land.
They sang their unstoppable songs when slave women were raped into motherhood, when children of Native and Black mothers were robbed from their breasts, when sterilization was forced on Black, Puerto Rican, and Native bodies.
They sang God's song in this strange land where Mother's Day was set aside, but full citizenship was denied. A land where women were honored for giving birth or nurturing the babies of others, but not for thinking, leading, and healing.
Suffragists sang in this strange land. Black mamas Sojourner, Angelina, Mary C.T., Ida B., and Mary T. sang with white mamas Susan B., Elizabeth, Alice, Cari, and Lucy, even though some were made to sing as backup and backstage.
Some mamas sang as they cared for World War I soldiers, as other mamas continued to fight for voting rights. Although in different ways, our mamas sang. They sang God's song in this strange land.
How can we sing God's song in this strange land, where the skills of Black nurses were only valued when the 1918 world flu flooded the land with infested bodies? Still, they sang God's song.
Wilson asked, "Shall we admit women only to a partnership of suffering and sacrifice and toil, and not a partnership of privilege?" Finally, after war and pandemic, women voted because they kept singing in this strange land.
How will we honor Mother's Day? How will we sing God's song today? As we are weary of pandemics and wars, worn out by social injustices and greed.
What is God's song in his strange land? God's song is reproductive freedom, social liberation, economic and environmental justice, and human thriving for all mothers and motherless, all children and childless.
We honor mama warriors and healers, activists and preachers. We sing God's song now for today and generations to come. As we sing, we give birth to hope and nurture new possibilities in this strange land. Together,
in our
different voices, identities, languages, and life circumstances, we sing God's song. Bless you.